This is my review on one of my favorite movies. It's called Logan. So in this one, Hugh Jackman finally plays Wolverine. Well, finally feels like Wolverine. Whatever the hell that was in the previous X-Men installments and Logan Wolverine films was likable, but didn't quite feel like Wolverine. I wouldn't exactly call it Wolverine, but it's called a character-ish. This is finally time you feel like he's actually playing Wolverine. So it opens up with Wolverine as a drunk limo driver and getting his car dismantled, and he actually loses his temper easily in this one, like he should. Then the comics like history. Then I'm going to give you a little history lesson. Wolverine in the comics has a short temper, and this one they finally got it right. Finally, thank the fucking Lord. It was finally what it was, and was it the way? Yeah, it was. Now, it doesn't change my opinion on the other installments of the X-Men franchise, starring Wolverine, where it came off as a mediocre performance and barely a character. But in this one, Hugh Jackman brings his A game to the table. He brought his A game in the Wolverine, but still it's barely a character. I mean, it's a character arc, but barely a character personality. This one, he actually has the character of Wolverine in the comics. So he's an old retired hero, but he has a short temper, and deep down is an animal ready to snap at any moment. Except the only difference between Wolverine and the comics is not old, except for that, old man Logan storyline that this is heavily based off of, and took some serious inspiration from it, especially the look that Wolverine has in the film, in the final act of the film. Wolverine lets out his goes berserker, like in the comics in the first act, as he kicks these assholes' asses. I don't know what else to call them. He doesn't want to have any sort of physical and that is. So anyway, kisses asses, possibly murdering them. So he goes to Charles Xavier, where he is having another episode of seizures, and gives him his medicine. However, the downside, obviously, he can't really use his mutant powers when tasting medicine, so he's trying to make with his group of new mutants. Logan just thinks he's crazy. He doesn't go by the name Wolverine anymore, and more than some X-Men members are dead and others are in hiding. The X-Men know a little more. Now it's just Charles and Logan. And Logan's hero days are over, so he doesn't really want to be a hero anymore. He just doesn't see the point. And then this girl comes and he sees that she really is like him, a mutant. So he saves her by taking a bunch of bad guys' asses. And they run off together on the road. And this guy that Logan was with gets kidnapped. Called, I can't remember what his name is. He gets kidnapped and he blows up a few bad guys. At the end, when Logan finds his clone self. Called X-24, and this girl Loris is X-23, and she is Wolverine's biological daughter. They were doing experiments on women and taking DNAs from these mutants. And they were creating a lot where they took DNA from the woman planted injected the genes into the woman, so when they had kids, they would be mutants, and they were born. The kids were born in a lab. And as this explained as this very detailed documentary by this nurse to Logan, and she says, "You may not love her, but she is your child, like I do love her. You may not love her like I do, but she is your child." He also the location. He's giving the money and location where to bring her in Mexico, called North Dakota. Somewhere in North Dakota, there's a place, a safe haven for these mutants. Wolverine sees that she's a fan of X-Men comics, so she figured that the whole thing is the location is all made up. Turns out it's not, and at the end they find because it's not really. Turns out. So after, so before Charles gets killed by Logan's clone, and Laura gets kidnapped by Logan's clone. Wolverine has to save her, but fails to save Charles for us. So it brings a very emotional. Brings a more emotional weight to the film. So you see Charles' side, so it's very emotional seeing that. And so Logan says the place isn't real before Charles died, and Charles says it is for Laura. Logan, it is for Laura. And he tells him he got some sleep. And this whole arc when you find out Charles is not taking his medicine, he comes to a realization that he's incredibly dangerous and realizes he needs to take his medicine. And he realizes he's what killed the members of the X-Men. And then he dies as he realizes is an ask for Logan for his forgiveness. So it's kind of sad when you think about it. So now it's the story on Logan, and Logan's dying from his cells dying because he's not healing like he used to. Therefore, his cells are dying, and the adamantium is killing him because it's metal. So, because he wasn't born as adamantium, he was born as bone claws in this universe. So and now, if it was his bone claws, he would be perfectly fine. So he still had his bone claws, not his adamantium claws, he would be perfectly fine. But since he's not, and since that injecting all the adamantium from head to toe weakened his cells and killed some cells, and it had cells had regenerate, and that made things bad from him. Very bad. To the point where it's now killing him now, today. In the future. And so he gets Laurel to that place after visiting the doctor. The doctor asks if there's anything he can do. He wants to help, and he says, and Logan says there's nothing he can do. So he takes him. So she takes him after arguments. Logan, he finally gives him and takes her to North Dakota. And well, you know, there's actually something there. So Logan passes out after seeing where she's gone and that she's with other mutants. So they lift him up through this some sort of rope with his rope, and he sees the other mutants and they cut his hair and also his facial hair as he's sleeping and as he's healing. They inject him with a drug that could kill you, but if you only take it in small doses, it can't kill you. It can actually help you big time. And that brings back his healing factor, believe it or not. That drug brings back his healing factor, so he's healing again. But he doesn't heal quick enough when the bad guys come and killing all the kids. So he has to save the kids, and his most important, the daughter that he's grown to love. See, in this Wolverine's dialogue that he's afraid to love in this film, and that's what the entire arc of Logan's arc is love, because he's afraid to let himself love, because everything bad happens to people he loves. So, anyway, Logan injects himself with all of the medicine, and his healing factor kicks in, and he finally lets out his roar that he's been building up for his entire life. It sounds like, it also sounds like I've been building up that roar for his entire career. Logan's been waiting to do that roar, and he just goes slashing and dices everyone. And he goes ambient and rage on everyone, berserker mode, berserker mode on everyone, and he teams up with Slaughter, and the medicine's time wearing off because Slaughter found her fair pound. She took all the medicine and is wearing off quickly. That's the downside of it. So anyway, he still keeps on fighting. And Logan takes a gun and shoots the crater that the son of the father put the metal and the adamantium in him, and just shoots him right in the head. And he tells Laura now, because he's still working with Laura, and says I love the problem. He says, well, you know when it's time to make a move. And because he's finally being the hero that he finally, because Wolverine decides the only way to be a hero is to step it up. Wolverine decides to step up and be a hero when his kid's in trouble, which is actually kind of touching when you think about it. So, anyway, he starts losing a lot of blood and luck, but still hanging in there and fighting his clone. The kids kill all the bad guys while Logan fights his clone, and Laurel kills him. But Laurel kills clone Logan, but Logan's mortally wounded, so he's dying, and it's a really sad scene. Laurel is that his name? No. And Logan says, I even told you what you wanted to me. And he says, oh, so this is what it feels like. It's actually a beautiful scene as it is sad. It's as happy scene as it is sad, because he finally let himself feel love. for the first time, for a brief moment. And he dies and they bury him, and the other kids go out as outlaw, and Logan stays behind and turns the cross to an X for X-Men, and that is Logan. And it's a really beautiful film. I love this film, and I give it a thumbs up. And I really love this film. And that is the end of Logan's journey, Wolverine's journey.